Hi, everyone. My name's Jane Mastellar, and I am a speech language pathologist, and I'm always looking for different things that can help heal myself holistically and also my clients holistically. So I had come across Mary when I had gone to a pyramid expo. And Mary really gave me a lot of hope because she was talking about the Holy Grail vortex. And at that time, I was very troubled, knowing what was going on with the dark forces and felt hopeless. And then when Mary was talking about the Holy Grail vortex, I was so happy and so inspired and knew I wanted to learn more about this. So when I learned about the flower essences, that was when I went to a Mind, Body, Spirit expo. And at this expo, a woman was talking about how flower extracts had helped her tremendously. And I was very interested in it at that time because I needed some support emotionally as well. So I had gotten on the Remedies with the presenter who at the Mind Body Expo. And at first, I didn't really know what to think. I was doing drops in my water, and I was also using a spray. And after I had been using it for around 3 weeks, then we consulted again, and she said, well, what's different? And I thought for a moment, and I realized I'm not as easily upset. Before, it would be a minor annoyance, and I would get very emotional and be driving in the car just too emotional with too much weepiness, kind of. And I realized I haven't been as weepy. So I knew that these were helping me. So my teacher who was making the essences for me, she was creating a program so I could learn how to make the essences myself. And I knew that I wanted to learn that so I would be empowered myself to be able to make the remedies and not be reliant on someone else to be making them and shipping them to my house. So I took her class, and I'm so glad I did. So I'm here to teach you a little bit more about flower essences, and my goal is also that when you leave here today, that you can have an idea of how to make your own essences similar to how I make them. So what to know about flower remedies? What they do is that they bring out the most positive person that you are, the true person that you are. The flower remedies, they come from plants and flowers from all over the world. They are created by taking the plant and the flower and putting it in water and then placing the water in the sun to create this specific energy of each plant. In general, they have no scent and they're liquids, and they're created with the plant, water, and energy and the power of the sun. What you can know about the flower essences as well is that it does pick up the frequency of the fairies, and when we take the flower essences, it raises our vibration. The great thing about flower essences, similar to essential oils, I consider them like cousins, is that they cannot hurt you. They're completely safe, powerful, and effective, and you can not overdose. This is considered to be energy medicine. When we are moved into a negative state, the energy surrounding us is affected and changed. A flower essence has the ability to gently and safely release negative emotional states by flooding the body system with the positive vibration that it carries. Over time, the emotional balance is again restored. The flower essences, they never repress your emotional balance. Rather, they are catalysts for their release. So when I'm speaking about like negative emotions, you can also think of it as a challenging emotion if you don't think that any emotions are negative, but just think that when I say negative, it's also just meaning challenging. So when we're working with the flower essences, we are determining which essence to use based on the negative emotional state that we are experiencing at that time. Remember that the great thing about these essences is that it transforms rather than suppresses our negative attitudes or emotions into positive ones. What's really amazing about these flower essences is that the more chaos is in your life at that time, the quicker you will see and feel the results in yourself and others. They do work quickly, and you're encouraged not to look for the healing of the diagnosis, but to look for the reversal of the negative symptom. It's one of the healing modalities you can use on medication. It won't hurt your medication, but it will actually work through the medication to help you move forward into a positive state of mind. So the remedies that I make, I do a collection from 3 different areas. The most well-known that maybe a lot of you know about is the Bach Remedies, and these are from England. There's fine-torn flower essences, and those are from Scotland. And then my favorite, the Australian bush essences, which of course are from Australia. So the reason I like the Australian bush essences so much is they really stand out to me as they have a certain glossary in the book for mental and physical ailments. And you will hear a lot of people say, flower essences, how can they help physical ailments? They do. And in the Australian Bush Remedy book, you can find out different ailments that are physical and what the flower remedy recommendation is. I also love the Australian Bush because they are correlated very well with the astrological zodiac. So in our Australian Bush Flower Healing book here, this will give information about each zodiac sign and recommendation for if you're having certain symptoms that are in excess or if you are having a lack of that energy and what is recommended for that. So I find that tremendously helpful. Some testimonials with regards to the flower essences. I myself take them ever since I've started. I'm a highly sensitive person. I think all of us here are highly sensitive people. I'm a Cancer sun sign, so especially emotional, and the key words for Cancer is I feel. So I feel things very, very intensely. So I've found them so phenomenally helpful when I've a couple times my cat went missing for about a week each time, and I was able to use these remedies particularly for grief, guilt, fear, worry, and those were so helpful during that process. Luckily, my cat did come back, but one of my other cats did go missing, and I really did feel the healing power of the essence for the grief. I used the red suva from Australian Bush Essences, and I find that to be so powerful because grief is so heavy on your heart. So to have something to gently support you in that process is just phenomenal. I did have a close friend. I made a remedy for him just to help promote decreased anxiousness, and he was inspired. He thought, I wonder what would happen if I stopped taking my back pain support, and to see if this natural remedy could possibly help it. And I hadn't made it for the back pain, but in the Australian Bush Flower Remedy book, it does have specific remedies recommended for the back pain. So he called me up and said that his back pain is gone. And when he runs out of the remedy, it comes back. When I make another remedy for him, it goes away. So he told his friend about this, and she said, well, I want to get rid of my neck pain. And I said, Fred, I have never had anyone have so much success getting rid of physical pain as you. I can't promise her it's going to go away, but I'll make one, and we'll see what happens. And I was still feeling a little unsure that it would be successful with her because I hadn't heard of anyone else of my clients having such dramatic shifts with their physical pain. But she as well said she reported that she was amazed and that her neck pain was gone. So these do help with your physical ailments, and in addition to your emotional needs. So some of the essences that I love to use, you can use them to help promote confidence, to help make your aura stronger, to close any holes that are in your aura, and to release any negative entities that have entered your aura when you have had the holes created. There's also essences I love to use for grounding. When I think of all of us here, I think of all of us like Neptunian people, very high spiritually, but when you're dealing with Neptune energy, you're kind of floaty up here in the air. So I love using the grounding entity, the grounding flower remedies for myself and like-minded people. Some of the negative emotions that these essences can help support the transformation of that emotion. It can help with guilt, grief, sadness, worry, anxiety, and resentment. I really like the Dagger Hakia for the resentment, because we carry a lot of resentment around even if we don't realize it. So that's really helpful. Also, there's BOAB, and I like to put that in every remedy, and that helps decrease your inherited negative thought patterns, what you have inherited from your family. These are very, very powerful healing tools. There's also something to know that each remedy, that there's maybe one remedy that really speaks to you. That's called like your constitutional remedy, that when you read about that flower, you think, oh my goodness, like this is me. I have these issues. And when you find out what your constitutional remedy is, then you can be supported by knowing that that's a good one to always have at hand to support you. I'm going to tell you how I make the remedies, and this could be how you would choose to make them as well. So what we're doing when we're making a remedy is I just get a 1 ounce little dropper bottle like this. You can also get a spray as well. The spray is great if you're using it with children, and you can spray that over their head and just over their body. And people are more open to sprays than for their children than if you were going to say, let's put some drops in their water, because it seems a little bit more medical when we're putting drops in, but when we're using a spray, there tends to be more openness. I also use a spray to complement the dropper bottle that I have, but if I had to choose between which one I would rather use, I prefer to know that I'm ingesting it, and you can put it directly under your tongue, or you can put it in the water. Of course, the water holds that vibration, but for the children, I do use the spray. I fill this 1 ounce dropper bottle with 1/4 of brandy, which is the most pure alcohol. It's a preservative, and it holds the frequency of the flower essence. And once I've got 1/4 of this filled with the brandy, then I'm going to add in the essences that I have selected. And once again, you choose the essence based on what the negative or challenging emotional state that you are feeling. And over time, we've come to select that we're going to do 7 drops of each one of these essences that we choose to put in our remedy. For men, I've been putting in 10 drops, and I've also been considering for people who have more of a heavier constitution state, that I also, for women at times, do put 10 drops in as well, just to make sure that we're going to have a successful outcome with it. But think of the magic number of 7 is your go-to, unless you want to make it more powerful and put 10 drops in. And once again, the number 7 comes up because we would try to aim to have about 7 remedies or less that we're going to add into our dropper bottle or our spray bottle. You can add more, but it dilutes it a little bit when you're putting in so many remedies. So if you kind of try and keep your number around 7, or you can go, sometimes I go a little bit higher, but in general, that's our go-to. Then after we've added in the 7 to 10 drops of our remedies, then we're going to fill the rest of it with filtered water and just give it a shake. And then you can charge it by doing your prayer, doing a Reiki, putting a pyramid over it. Also, if you follow astrology, you can try and create them at astrologically auspicious times to pick up that energy as well. Bach is the most well-known and easiest to access. You can get the Bach remedies online, or I've even seen it at Whole Foods. So that is the easiest one to access. But once again, my favorite, and I think is really amazing and magical, is that Australian bush flower essence. And when you can get it online, but it's coming from Australia, so the shipping costs are a little high. But if you contact me, we can find a way to get it a group order, so then we can get it at a more affordable rate. You can also always contact me. I can make these remedies for you. I make it very affordable for people, and I have a variety of the different essences that I can put in there. But I've just taught you how you can make your own, and you can always reach out to me again and say, remind me again how I can make my own. I've picked up a couple essences, and I want to try and make my own. Mary also shared with me that some people do use the sundew on the morning on the flowers to use the flower essences in their own way. I haven't done that, so that may be something you want to speak with Mary more, or research that on your own of how you can utilize the dew on the flowers to also get some benefit to that. So in conclusion, I think of these as like the cousins of the the essential oils. They are just as powerful, just as effective, and really should be given a lot of attention. I see here a lot of people know about the oils, but not so much about the flower essences, and they're just both so amazing. I think everyone should be considering taking both. And if you want to learn more about this, I have my books here. You can view my books, and I do have some handouts that would explain it in more detail. I'd be happy to do that. And then with closing, I'd just like us all to do a little meditation where I'm going to say some different essences, and we're going to imagine that we're putting it either directly underneath your tongue or that you've already put it in a little bit of water and that you're drinking the water, so we can benefit from using our visualization to process the different essences in the way that they are intended. So here we go. With the frequency of Croea, we reduce worry. With the frequency of Daisy, we reduce anxiousness and promote peace and calm. With the frequency of Dog Rose of the Wild Forces, we promote emotional balance, calmness, sanity in times of turmoil, and calmness in emergencies. With the frequency of Rescue, we create a calming effect under crisis. With the frequency of Boab, we remove negative, inherited family patterns and negative thought patterns. With the frequency of Fringed Violet, we promote the removal of effect of recent or old traumas. We reintegrate our aura, and we are more protected. And lastly, with the frequency of Angel Sword, we repair the whole energy field and release any energies that entered while the aura was open. Thank you.